everyone, welcome to Analysis Trends. In this video, we are going to look after three DAX function, that is combine values, concatenate and concatenatex. We'll use ChatGPT to understand the basics of this syntax and try to use DAX.do in order to provide us with a simple understanding of that particular syntax and how to use it in DAX. So let us start with combine values. So the syntax defines is like combine values, a delimiter, then value one, value two, and so on. So let's say you got a data of a column product and a column sales amount, and if you want to combine both of them with a delimiter hyphen, then by doing this, you'll able to see the output is combined with an hyphen. So let us use dax.do to find out how combine values can be used and how you define within the DAX code. So let me write a sample code that is evaluate. So basically I'm evaluating and adding a column that will basically summarize the top n. So let me take 5 samples, okay, from the customer table, okay, and now I'm trying to uh, also add other columns which I want to be including. Like for example, if I add customer code as one column, then add customer name, and also let me add customer region. So these are my 3 columns. Okay, now basically I would also be able to add one more new column, which is like my combine column, and let me define this column with combine values. And now I can combine values with a delimiter first. So my delimiter, let me put delimiter as a bar. Then let me put the first column name, that is column code, then customer name, and then closes and then closes. So let me click on format to format the whole DAX, and let me try to run this. Okay, so the output I'm getting is the customer code, which I'm getting it from top 5 customer table, then customer name from the customer table, and then customer region from the customer table. If you look at this now, I have actually used a bar to define the delimiter. Let me put space and run the same. So there is a code first, then you got a space, then you got a bar, and then you got the customer name. In this way, you can define the whole syntax. Now let me add another one, that is customer region. So this is my third value, and I'm using the same delimiter, that is a bar. Okay, now let me change the combine values to concatenate, the second DAX function, that is concatenate. Now, before we move forward, let us look at how can we use concatenate function. I guess you already wrote it here. Yeah. So concatenate syntax basically defines two values, column one and column two, and then in this particular syntax, you need not to define any what you can say delimiter, but rather you can just use concatenate and then two values. So let me put concatenate. I need not to provide any delimiter because it will be auto defined for this, and it will be only single value. So let you see the concatenate function itself says that you need only 2 strings. You cannot give more than 2 strings. So let me remove the last one, and I cannot use a delimiter for now, but let me run this. So the output I'm getting is default value. That is, so this is my first code, that is 11024 is my first column. Comma is auto defined. This comma is not a delimiter. This is just to differentiate the text1 and text2. So concatenate, there's a drawback. I cannot give any other value. Now, for example, if I try to put, let me just put in like this and run the code. I got 3 values now. So it says that too many arguments were passed to concatenate. The maximum arguments count for the function is 2. So there is a limitation that you cannot give more than that. What I can do here is I can give, for example, as a customer code, and at the end I can add 0, and let me run this code. So now the customer code is a 4-digit code, I guess, right? A 4 or 5-digit code. Now a 0 is added to each of them. Now this way the the concatenate function can be used. Let us move to the third function, that is Concatenatex, which is very, very different from both. So Concatenatex function is completely different, where we can have a table, expression, delimiter, and a filter. So it works very differently. But before we move on to Concatenatex, we can use a concatenate function with multiple values as well. So let me show you one example. I'm using other as a column name. Okay, and then I'm not defining any function, but rather I'm just entering the column names I want to combine. So let me first combine customer code, and let me put a delimiter now. So I'm putting a customer code, then I'm putting an ampersand symbol with a comma separated, and then space, then an ampersand, and giving a customer name here, then a comma, and then an ampersand with a comma separated, space, ampersand, and then customer region. Now if I run this, probably this should give me an output with the other as a new column, where I'm defining value 1, then a comma with a space after that, which is here, then a name with a comma, space after that, and the country region. This is the other way where you can use to combine values instead of using concatenate. Okay, now let us create completely new uh, code that will define us how to use the concatenate x function. So I'm evaluating and adding another new column which actually gives me the value, and this time the value is what I actually want to segregate. Let's say I want to segregate with the help of birth date. So I want to concatenate all the usernames if they are having under a single birth name or a birth date. Now let me put another column called matching, which actually perform the function for me. Now in this, I'm using concatenate x function and calculate table. I'll calculate a table which calculate the value of that particular function. So values of uh, the column name I might be using here is customer name, because I need to define all the customers falling under the same date of birth. So here after this I'll add one more name called customer name. Now this is my first syntax. I mean the actual syntax that I want to be using it. So let me close this column, calculate column table. Okay, that is good. This is my expression. Then I got the second value with a comma, then a space, then a comma, sorry, then a quote, then again the customer name in order to provide the two syntax literal. Then close this and then close this. Let me click on format. Okay, so in this, I'm adding a column with the value of this is my first column, customer birth date. A new column will be added called matching as a second column, where it calculate the table of values customer name, and if birth date, whatever birth date it is, it'll add the customer name. If the birth date matches for the two customer name, it'll add the first name of the customer with a comma separated and then add the second name of the customer. Let me run and see what it gets. Okay, so cannot be determined, reference may be specific value argument. Okay, so let me look into this. Where is the issue? Oh, values, sorry. It's not a value, it's values. Oops, two brackets. Okay, so let's wait. Now this will actually go into customer birth date, bring out the birth date as a new column, then create a new column called matching, where it runs a function called concatenatex, where it actually find a value of customer name. And if the customer name is just matching with the date, it provides the matching. If there are two or more customers, now every customer has a comma between them in the first name and last name. Now, wherever you see four names, let me go to the example here. That means this particular customer and this particular customer have a same date, right? And in a similar fashion, when I go down, you will have a lot of combinations as well. There might be four, there might be six. So if you look at this one, you got three customers with the same birth date. One, two, three, right? This is the way where you can use concatenate x function to calculate, to filter, as well as to provide an expression. I guess this video helped you to understand what is concatenate x function and how can we use this. Definitely this will be very helpful for you to perform all the DAX functions. Okay, thanks for watching this video. See you in next video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe the channel. Thanks.